This is an IELTS sample answer. Keep practicing to build confidence. To try a mock test with these questions, watch our mock test video. The link to the PDF document is in the first comment. Want to improve your IELTS writing skills? Check out our new IELTS writing channel. Let's start off by talking about advertisements. Is there an advertisement that made an impression on you when you were a child?
Yes, I remember a catchy chocolate advert with a fun jingle. The song was so memorable that I could sing it even now. It made me want to buy that chocolate every time.
Do you see a lot of advertising on trains or other transport?
Yes, I often see advertisements on buses, trains, and even taxis. They usually promote mobile apps, food delivery services, or upcoming films. Some are quite eye-catching, while others just blend into the background.
Do you like advertisements?
It depends. Some adverts are creative and entertaining, but others feel repetitive and annoying. I enjoy well-made ads with humor or an interesting story, but I dislike ones that interrupt videos or phone calls.
What kind of advertising do you like?
I like humorous and emotional adverts that tell a good story. Creative ads with nice music or smart words also catch my attention. I prefer short and interesting ads instead of long ones that repeat too much.
Do you think advertisements influence people's decisions?
Yes, adverts can definitely influence people's choices. They create brand awareness and make products look more appealing. Sometimes a well-made advert can convince people to buy things they hadn't even considered before.
That's the end of part 1. Now we are going to move to part 2. In this part, you will have 1 minute to prepare and then speak up to 2 minutes. Describe a decision that you disagreed with, which was made by your colleague or manager at work. You should say what the decision was, why you disagreed, what you did. Explain how it affected you.
One decision I really disagreed with was when my manager decided to cut our team's training budget by 30% to save money. This meant canceling workshops and online courses that were super important for helping us build skills like data analysis and project management. At the time, I was a marketing coordinator, and keeping up with industry trends and tools was crucial for running successful campaigns. I disagreed because it felt like a short-sighted move. Sure, cutting costs made sense from a financial point of view, but these training programs directly impacted our performance. For instance, one of the canceled courses was about a new analytics tool that many of our competitors were already using. Without that knowledge, I worried we'd fall behind in tracking results and optimizing campaigns. Plus, cutting these opportunities could hurt morale, as many team members were motivated by the chance to grow and learn. After the decision was announced, I respectfully shared my concerns with my manager. I even put together a short report showing how past training had improved our results, like a 20% boost in campaign efficiency. I also suggested some lower-cost options, like free webinars and team-led sessions. Unfortunately, the decision stood because of strict financial targets. This experience affected me in a couple of ways. Professionally, I felt frustrated, knowing our performance might suffer. Personally, it taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes you have to speak up, even if the outcome doesn't change. I learned the importance of communicating concerns clearly and looking for creative compromises when things don't go as planned.
That's the end of part 2. Now we are going to move on to part 3. We'll continue discussing the topic of disagreements. What should employees do if they disagree with a decision at work?
If employees disagree with a decision, they should speak up respectfully and support their view with examples or data. For example, they can show a tool is helpful by comparing revenue before and after using it. If unresolved, they can seek help from HR or mediation. Staying professional and open helps find practical solutions.
Do you think managers should ask employees for their opinions before making decisions?
Absolutely. When managers ask for input, it makes employees feel valued and often brings out useful insights managers might overlook. For example, a sales team might point out customer preferences that aren't obvious from the top. It also builds trust and boosts morale. Simple steps like quick surveys can gather feedback and lead to smarter decisions.
What can happen if a company makes a bad decision?
A bad decision can really hurt a company's finances and reputation. For instance, launching a poorly tested product might upset customers and lost revenue. Inside the company, it could lower morale as employees lose confidence in leadership. Over time, this can lead to more staff leaving or struggles with hiring.
How can disagreements at work affect teamwork?
When people disagree at work, it can cause tension and slow things down. For example, if a team can't agree on a project timeline, the whole thing might get delayed. But disagreements aren't always bad. If people listen to each other and share their views with respect, those conversations can spark fresh ideas and lead to better results.
How can a company make sure employees feel heard when decisions are made?
Companies can do this by creating clear ways to give feedback. A simple idea, like a monthly idea box, can make a big difference. But it's not just about collecting feedback. Managers should respond to it, explain their decisions, and, when possible, act on good suggestions. That kind of follow through shows employees their opinions really matter.
That's the end of the speaking test. Good job.